What is going on, guys? John here with the PBFit, and today we're talking about the Gtek 170R or the M170R. That's right, I was able to get my hands on the 170R as well as the mech frame from my good friend Joe, who plays on the Kings with me, and he let me do a review on it as well as do some gameplay footage, which you saw on my last video. As we all know, the 160R was a fantastic marker, but the Planet Eclipse 170R is on another level. With an almost completely toolless design, the 170R brings a lot of aspects from the CS2 to the mid-range platform. Like I said in some previous videos about some other mid-range markers, the mid-range market itself is getting completely blurred. This marker is, to me, a high-end. I mean, all the bells and whistles and everything you see on it are high-end features, such as the toolless bolt design, the marker where it's completely wireless, and just the amazing finishing touches that they put on this marker. I'm just completely blown away. Now in this video, as you guys know, I go more in depth than a lot of other review videos. Not only am I going to review all the different aspects of the marker, but I'm also going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how to maintain the core or the engine of this marker, the gamma core to be exact, how to maintain the regulator of this marker, as well as how to change out the grip frame from the standard 170R electronic grip frame to the mechanical M170R grip frame. Now that's the coolest thing about this marker. Very similar to its competitor, the Shocker XLS or CVO, it just takes a change of the grip frame to go from mechanical to electric. So the specs of this marker is something that you would expect to see in a high-end. Starting from the bottom, you have a very, very nice pop style ASA. The grip frame itself is very nice. Not too fat. That's one thing I didn't like about the CS one, is that it was just a little too bulky for me. I like the nice thin grip frame, and the palm swell feels pretty nice. It isn't perfect, but the palm swell is nice. The grips feel nice, not too hard, not too soft, and it has a really, really nice OLED board. So the front grip feels really nice in the hands. They went from using AA's to 9 volts, which I think was a really, really good move. It has a standard shaft barrel, which is honestly, Planet Eclipse barrels are great. You're not going to need to replace this barrel. It's a good length for pointing. It's all barrels, to me, are accurate unless they're jacked up on the inside. So you're really not going to have an issue with the barrel. Moving up to the body, I really like the way that they designed the body. I think it's really sleek, yet minimalistic in that they didn't do too much to it. I think it looks really, really cool. And I really like what they did with the back cap. Kind of cut it in a little bit so you're able to grip it nice and easy when you're trying to pull out the bolt. Planet Eclipse feed necks are some of the best. Take a look at the wheel. The thumb wheel on it is huge. It makes it so easy to tighten and loosen your feed necks, so you're not gonna have to fiddle with it too much. It just makes it so much easier to adjust between hoppers if you're looking at switching those things out. Especially if you're switching between mechanical and electric mode. I mean, you could really do it in minutes. And you could go ahead and switch your hopper out to something maybe that fits a little bit differently. But it just takes seconds to go ahead and get that done. The trigger is a really nice standard blade trigger. There's nothing fancy about it. It's not super fantastic or crazy. Really nothing to write home about, but it does the job. Especially with ramping. I mean, most fields allow ramping. You don't really need a super, super nice trigger, but it's like, to me, very similar to the triggers of the past. Now, the length of this marker is pretty nice. I'm a relatively average height. I'm like 5'11", but I have really freakishly long arms. So I have like a taller person's arms. Now, this is a 77 tank, and as you can tell, my arms fit perfectly on this marker. And I have a lot of space. If I wanted to grab the grip like this, I could. I usually put my thumb up on the side here, and there's a nice groove for it that I really like. So my thumb fits nicely right there. And I just feel like it's a good distance away. I like longer markers. So this is a nice, happy medium, honestly. If you like longer guns, then I think you'll be happy with this. If you like shorter guns, I think this will work for you too. But this is a nice, happy medium. It's not too long and stretched out, and it's not too short. But I think it feels really, really nice in the hands. And once again, those grips feel good. Now, it's not super sturdy like most front grips. There's give to it. You can feel movement, you know? It feels kind of loose. It's kind of interesting the way it feels. But that's the one thing I noticed is I can squeeze it. You can squeeze portions of it, and it feels like a cover, which I usually don't feel on most markers, but it makes me, like, I notice it, right? Not a bad thing. It's just something that you'll notice. It's gonna happen. When you grab it, as opposed to a different marker where that's where the regulator goes, or it's a nice solid part of the body of the marker. It just feels different. This portion here is actually plastic. This feels good. If I'm playing and I'm snap shooting, it feels like I have control. You know? That's what I want to feel. I want to feel control of the marker. Now, some markers I feel like it's just not right for me and I don't have total control. So Planet Eclipse did a really good job of the 170R and its design and making it as similar to the CS2, like ergonomics wise, as possible without cutting into profit margins. Now, it's not going to have the perfect palm swell. It's not going to feel perfect for the front grip. It's not going to have the best barrel. It's not going to have the most weight cut off of it as possible. It's just not going to, because why would they do that? Why would you buy a CS2 besides saying I could have a CS2 at that point? So there's just little things. Now, getting into the inside of the marker, let's take a look at the Gamma Core. Now, the Gamma Core is something that's tried and true. It's pretty much in every single Planet Eclipse marker now. Now, when you go ahead and pull out the bolt, it's simple. All you're gonna do is pop up the back cap and slide it out. When you unscrew the Gamma Core, you're gonna notice that the bolt and the front can come off together. You're gonna go ahead and push the front of the bolt out through the back and it's gonna come out nice and easy. It seems like they kind of color coded this marker to make things easier maybe. I mean, in a way, but they just have different colors in the bolt for whatever reason. Maybe to make it look cooler, I don't know. But anyways, then you're gonna go ahead and unscrew the next blue middle portion, and you're gonna go ahead and screw it and remove that. There are some key O-rings within the Gamma Core that need to be lubed, which anything that is touching another moving part needs to be lubed or replaced or checked. That's the big thing. Now, the main thing is just wiping it down with a microfiber and then putting new lube on it. I do that after every day of play. I don't care what anybody says. Planet Eclipse can shoot for 1,000,000 cases and never get lubed up. It's so amazing. Okay, great. But if you want your O-rings to last a long time, they're not, these O-rings are not super fantastic, crazy, everlasting, O-rings. They will fray and they will get old and they will get jacked up. So it's important to take care of those too. Planet Eclipse does come with a generous, I'm talking super generous parts kit. Just like all their markers, it's something we're used to. It's kind of like not a surprise anymore, and not really like, it's just like, yeah, it comes with a bunch of stuff. It's fantastic. And to go along with that, for maintaining your marker, I mean, every aspect of maintaining your marker, Planet Eclipse has beautiful color manuals that you can follow step by step. I highly recommend reading these first before you do anything, okay? Because even watching YouTube channels like mine, we might not do something right, okay? So that's the main thing. Once you're done lubing everything, you're gonna screw that back blue portion back on. Then you're gonna put the bolt back into the front blue portion of the can and go ahead and screw it back on. Now, when you screw it on, it only needs to be hand tight. You don't need to crank down on this stuff. You can go ahead and move the bolt back and forth. I like to do that to make sure lube gets all in there and to make sure that it's nice and smooth. You shouldn't feel anything gripping or kind of slowing that down. It should be nice and butter. And then from there, you just go ahead and pop it back in your marker and go ahead and push down the back of the back cap. You've went ahead and just maintained the inside of your marker. Now, maintaining the regulator is something that I always like to talk about because it's something that's often forgotten about, and it has a huge part to play in the performance of your paintball marker. Now, when it comes to the regulator, it's not where you think it is, in the front grip of your marker, like most paintball markers are nowadays. It is actually located in the ASA. Now, the great thing about this, as opposed to other ASAs like Empire, for example, these ASAs can be maintained by the user. And this is why I think Planet Eclipse does a great job. It allows users to take care of their own stuff like you should be able to. You shouldn't have to go to somebody or send it in to maintain your marker unless it's like legitimately broken. That's just my opinion. So you're gonna see two huge screws in the back that require Allen keys. You're gonna go ahead and unscrew those two screws, and it's gonna pop the ASA right off. When you look into the bottom of the marker, you're gonna notice the piston and the spring. You're gonna go ahead and pull those out. Now, you might need pliers, you can just pop it out, but I recommend using your fingers because if you pinch that piston, you're gonna have a bad day. You're gonna ruin everything, okay? So pull out the piston, pull out the spring, go ahead and wipe them down, and then you're gonna go ahead and lube the O-ring on the piston, okay? And you can even lube down the piston stem a little bit. That's the best way to do it. Now, if you go ahead and look at the ASA itself, you're gonna go ahead and see like a copper piece in which you're gonna stick an Allen key in there and unscrew it. Once you unscrew that portion, you're gonna lift it up and you're gonna look inside of it, and there's a little O-ring on the inside. You can either take a toothpick with some lube on it, or you could take an Allen key with some lube on it, and you're gonna lube that inner O-ring. Or you can put some lube on the stem of the piston and go ahead and put it into the hole and lube it up. That'll work too. The main thing is that you take care of that inner O-ring. It's really hard to get to unless you use something such as a piston or like a toothpick or a small Allen key. Once you're done, screw that portion back on and then put the ASA back on the marker via those 2 screws. And boom, at that point, you've just maintained your regulator. Now, I don't think you need to maintain it that often. Usually I don't maintain mine until I see like some crazy consistency issues or it just seems to be shooting like crap. I'll just go ahead and maintain my regulator. Usually that's between every 25 and 50 cases. Like I said, hardly have to do it, but that's just me. I think 25 to 50 cases, or when you start seeing some functionality issues like inconsistency, you're gonna wanna go ahead and take care of that regulator. Now, the really cool thing about this marker is its eye system. It has toolless eye covers, and the eye system is underneath in the body. It uses what they call a prism, where it reflects the laser into the breech. So paint and gunk and stuff like that really shouldn't affect it too much. And if it does, then you just go ahead and wipe off the eye covers. It's super easy. The one thing I do not like is that it still uses Planet Eclipse little rubber detents. I don't know what it is about those little tiny rubber detents, but I hate them. Like, I genuinely hate them. For some reason, I always like putting them in. I just hate dealing with those little things. And I just love like Delrin detents, for example, or plastic, anything that's like sprung detents, like the Shocker XLS, for example. Those detents are fantastic. Stuff that's been on the Lux, you know, those detents work and they do the job and they don't have to be replaced like these rubber detents. It's just one more maintenance item you're gonna have to do is replace those things. I think that Planet Eclipse should just really come out with some Delrin sprung detents that you can just have in there for the life of the marker. I just think that would be a good step, and at that point, like Planet Eclipse, you got everything done. I think that the prism thing's super cool. I love the toolless eye covers. I love that we could separate the body and there's no wires. I think it's super awesome in that way. And they're just really minor things that, and I can't even say, like, that's the only thing I don't like is Planet Eclipse detents, and that's not even like that big of a deal. A big thing about this marker is the M170R portion of it, and that's the mechanical version. Now, when you buy the marker, the grip frame doesn't come with another ASA or another grip. Honestly, like, why not? It just would be so much easier if you could just have everything on there and you could just throw it on there. Nice and easy. Boom. You just take this mechanical version, has the grips, right? You don't have to mess with it, has the grips already, and the ASA on it, the regulator, and you could just throw it on there. I mean, it would take such a short amount of time. Like, why? I know it'd be more expensive, but it would be so worth it instead of having to buy everything after the fact. You know, like, that's just me. It's just, what a selling point. Not only that, but since you can buy your M170 version of it, right? The mechanical version. Why isn't there a part of the case where you can put this in it? I mean, why not have a 2-part case where there's a spot for your grip frame so everything could be in the case? Like, why wasn't that thought of? Another thing is, why aren't there holes under here so you could just unscrew it? Why isn't there just a little hole so I could just unscrew it without having to take the grip off? I mean, just little things like that would be so nice. Just little things. Other than that, this mechanical version is insane. I mean, crazy how fast you could pull the trigger. And the trigger is nice and snappy. I love the trigger. I mean, this is one of the best mechanical triggers I've ever pulled. I really like it. I had fun playing with it. And honestly, it doesn't take that long to go ahead and put on. Let me go ahead and show you how to make your 170R a mechanical beast. Simple and easy. You're gonna go ahead and pull off the front grip because you're gonna have to use that as well. And then you're gonna go ahead and unscrew the frame. Okay, so you're gonna go and take the bolt out. You're gonna unscrew the screw that's in the back of the grip frame, and then unscrew the screw that's under the grip frame. Then you're gonna go ahead and unscrew the regulator. You're gonna take the regulator, you're gonna take your piston out and your spring, you're gonna put it in there. You're gonna take the regulator, ASA combo, and put it on there, screw it on. Then you're gonna go ahead and pop it on there and screw everything back in. That's what it takes to make it mechanical. And honestly, that's not bad. That's really good. I mean, to make this thing mechanical, it's super easy. It would just be so much easier if those little changes I mentioned before were done. I mean, I'm talking, it would be like boom, boom, boom. But the case, like, why wasn't that thought of? I mean, it'd be so cool if you could just put this in the case with the marker and you have everything in there. What a genius thing. Or, you know, maybe they're gonna make that an aftermarket thing like a lot of companies do. It's like, hey, you got an M170? Well, you can go ahead and buy this extra case then, and it has everything in it, and it's only $100, and then you can have everything together. Wow, what a deal. That's a good deal. It'd be cool if it came with it though. But the mechanical version is great. If you just want to shoot mechanical or go into mechanical only tournaments, it's the way to go. And Planet Eclipse really hit the nail on the head with this one. I mean, the M170R is bar none, you know, just a fantastic mechanical shooter. Now, I really like the electronic version, the way it shoots too, but it's just like, I'm not like blown away, like, wow, it shoots crazy good and I'm blown away. No, I'm just like, wow, it shoots nice. It's a nice shooter, but am I blown away by it? No, but it shoots nice. You know, it shoots great. Not like when I shoot a Lux, you know, for example, I'm like, holy wow, this thing is amazing. Or when I shot the LV one for the first time, it's like, what is even happening right now? It's not like that. You're not gonna go from a 160 to a 170 and be like, this is insane. I can't believe what's happening to me right now. I'm having an out-of-body experience. It's not the way it's gonna be. But you're gonna have those little things like no AT pipe, trimmed down maybe a little bit. It's a little bit lighter from the 160, but you still got that Planet Eclipse reliability. If I'm gonna drop hundreds of dollars, I wanna get something that I can grow into and that I'm gonna wanna use for years to come and not have to buy something new. Here it is. I found it. It's this. There's no reason you should have looked for anything else. Invest in something like this. Save yourself some money. Don't buy a high-end, get one of these. Why do you think I shoot shockers? Because they shoot money for half the price. This thing is what, $500 cheaper? $500 cheaper than a CS2. Unless you just really, really want the little itty bitty difference of shot quality and ergonomics and, I mean, tiny betterness, then buy a CS2. If you want the tiny better necessity of a CS2, get it. But if you want to save yourself $500, this is what you want. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching the video. If you like this video, go ahead and like, subscribe, watch my other videos, check out my boys at Lone Wolf and my guys at Team Insanity, and I'll talk to you guys soon at my next video. Whenever I make it, eventually, hopefully soon, not too far from now in the future, and you guys still watch, hopefully, as well. Peace.